उठा के नजर कोई लगेगा एक जी मेले में हे बकड़ली मुछन थोड़ी नीची नीची रखी जो बकड़ मुछन को थोड़ी नीची नीची रखी जो कि गैल कोई पड़ जावेगी जी मेले में उठा कर गेल कोई पड़ जावेगी जी मेले में ओए गोरा गोरा ओहो एक गोरा गोरा गाल थारा घुंघटिए में रखे गोरा गोरा गाल थारा घुंघटिए खिज की गेल कोई पड़ जाए.
So when we set up the foundation, Ninash Foundation in Oneonta, our goal was to cater to the needs of these 50 million underprivileged children by opening Indo-International elementary schools. And that's what we have been doing for the past now 8 years, since 1996.
In India, we have mainly, we used to have four castes mainly. That was, first one was Brahmin or the priest caste, and second was warriors, third was businessmen, and fourth one was untouchables like scheduled castes or unscheduled tribes. I think it's the only way. Education is the only way to abolish the caste system. The lower caste people is actually the people who need education, because if you have a certain kind of education in your family or any family member have education, then he can teach you, he can teach all the family. But the problem is, in the lower caste nobody has education. In family, all, if they have 5 members, the 5 members are uneducated. This is the problem. So if you teach one person in the lower caste in each family, they can make a change. So the society can change, and the root cause of the population or crime or you'll say poverty, it's all mostly because of these lower caste. So if you are doing something to lower caste, it's certainly going to change the situation.
When trying to think about what is the Ninash Foundation, I really thought that it was an opportunity not only to visit India, but to make a difference as well. Because just in my experiences in doing some traveling and having friends who are in community development, they've kind of shown me that even though donating money is always a good cause, that education is probably the only way out for most people who are in a third world country. So because of those two things, my desire to travel to India and the fact that it was helping children through education, I felt it was a good opportunity for both of those things to come together. So that was one of the reasons. That was probably the two main reasons why I decided to do this specifically through this avenue.
You can see here we have people from Mahapura and people from Oneonta. They are working together as a team.
And sandpaper on the walls so that they're somewhat smooth, so you can paint them and the paint will stay on.
today we have assembled here to open our third Indo-International School in Mahapura, whose goal will be to teach children how to read and write, but also learn a vocation. This vocation will involve working on stained glass windows. It's an ancient art in Rajasthan and all over India. This school will charge no fee. That means there will be no tuition fee. This will be a place where free education will be imparted. Hopefully this will revolutionize the thinking of the people of this town and many towns in Rajasthan. Bus. Yeah.
What's your name?
क्या?
Kia? Or you could just come from school?
Yes.
Yes? Do you know English?
नहीं.
No?
Bye.
Let's go.
Bye.
Bye.
My name is Pooja.
वो आपसे पूछ रही हैं कि आप अपने दोनों बच्चों को इंडो इंटरनेशनल स्कूल क्यों भेजते हैं?
सर, एक तो यहाँ पर हर चीज़ की सुविधा है, दूसरी पढ़ाई बहुत अच्छी होती है यहाँ पर, और यहाँ पे हर चीज़ की सारी सुविधा है, सब चीज़ मिलती है बच्चों को, हर चीज़ की सुविधा है। अब खाने की भी सुविधा हो चुकी है, जो कि हालांकि हम लोग टिफ़िन भी भेजते हैं, लेकिन जो इतना माँ बाप कर सकते उतना तो करते हैं, लेकिन स्कूल बहुत अच्छा सहयोग दे रहा है
So
हमारे में।
she's saying that the Indo International School is very good. It provides very good education. It also doesn't cost them anything. They give them food, and they are very nice to the children, and that's why she
पढ़ाई बहुत अच्छी होती
chose
है इस
to
स्कूल में।
send the children there. And if the Indo International School was not there, she would not have been able to send the children to any other school because she can't afford it. Because her husband is without job, without work, and her third child just died, and she's feeling very, very bad. And so she's hoping that the children will have at least a place to go there every day and get educated, and they get some nutritious food there. So she's very grateful.
इसलिए मैं तो यही चाहती थी कि अगर मेरी वो एक गुड़िया भी होती, वो बड़ी होती, तो मैं उसे इसी स्कूल में डालती।
So she's not talking about her third child who died recently, and so she was hoping that if that child had lived, she would have sent that child to also Indo International School.
She has to take a girl's name. She asked her class teacher, "Sir, can you suggest a good name for me. The teacher says there are many good names, my girl, but why do you want to change your name? She says I don't like my name at all. Madhvi is not a good name. The teacher says, okay, I shall suggest you some name. You may choose any one if you like. The next day at school, her teacher gives her a list of names. She takes it and reads it.
And the village which we adopted was this village of Dunlord, which was a remote village. The roads were very bad. There were educational facilities, but certain segments of people in that community were discriminated against. The people who used to be called in the past the untouchables, who swept the floors, who came and cleaned up the lavatories, who picked up the dead animals, who picked up the cow dung. These are the people who live there. There are 50 children in that community. When I asked them whether they're getting any education, they said no, they're not getting any education. I said, the government has required, it's mandated that every school-going child should be in school. They said, that's true, but there's no one to enforce it. When these 50 children from that impoverished class go to the school, other children don't like it. They don't want them to sit next to them. And if they do sit down there, then the parents of these higher classes will come and push these kids away. So we said, all right, let's go talk to these children. So we invited the 50 children there. I sat down with them, and of course these children were very excited when they found out that we are going to open a school which will give them free education. So now we have 250 children who are getting top class education. They're speaking 3 languages, and they can compete with anybody. So the school started with nursery and kindergarten. Now we have nursery, kindergarten, all the way up to the 8th grade. And we are going to be starting with 9th grade in July. And the goal is to go up to high school. We also started what we call Project Hunger, where 50 children out of these 250 who don't have enough money to feed themselves. So we have started a program where they are fed 4 times a week. And the entire budget for teaching these 250 children is less than $5,000 a year. And if we have a similar kind of school running in the United States, it will be costing us a few $1 million. We have already seen some of our children from Dunlord School who had finished their 6th grade or 7th grade, and they have moved out of our school and they joined the government school or public school. They're excelling. They're 3 grades ahead of everybody else. So all kinds of changes have taken place. 2,000 more people have moved into the town itself. So I call this starting of that school as a history in the making. You see the changes, economic changes, social changes, and these children who were discriminated against now sit next to people from higher classes. So we're breaking those classes down. When you give education to a male child, it's a proven fact that education limited to just this one person. But wherever they gave education to a female child, the female child not only got the skills, but also she educated the whole community and the whole state. So to educate a female child had a ripple effect, much bigger effect than educating a male child. So I think education, it's like a multi-tool to solve many problems which India is facing. And more educated the people are, less of population problem, less of hygiene problem, less of personal health problem, and they will be able to have a future for themselves. So our emphasis is on the poorest of poor, female children first, then the poorest of poor, male children, then poorest of poor, Muslim children, or children who otherwise will not be getting any kind of education. Our goal is secular education to be provided to all these children.
School pen, children money, one photo.